Welcome back. We are on this journey with Joyce Rupp, dealing with week 4 this week, and the overall theme for this coming week is the broken cup. It is a wonderful journey that we've started, the cup of our life. Joyce Rupp is an author that welcomes us and encourages us to work with our spirituality, and that's what we've been doing. So we hope that those who have been with us regularly have found some benefit writing a few lines in your journal every day, and that you've been enjoying some of the summaries of each day as I've taken them from Joyce Rupp's book. And thank you to Janine for allowing me to use her copy, as my copy is in South Africa. And a reminder that this is my cup that I've been journeying with these past 3 weeks, going into week 4 now. And this one is comfort and joy. And so when the theme is the broken cup, comfort and joy is something that we yearn for. And so as we get into this discussion, join me as we pray. Loving God, being still and knowing you are God is something that we so need. And so thank you for these brief times of quiet, of sitting down, of reflecting, that we can take time to just be with you. Thank you for this online method of connecting with one another in a very different way. Thank you for our world, for summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, for seeing the beauty all around us. And so go with us, meet with us, invite us into this deeper relationship with you. In the name of Christ. Amen. So a little bit of reflection. I hope that the 6th day each week has been helpful for you. But in week 1, we were encouraged to sing a love song to ourselves, to others, and also to God. In week 2, we began the process, or we continued the process, of uncluttering our lives. And that is a big job. I heard quite a few people say that during the pandemic and the lockdown and the isolation period, people have been going into their closets and uncluttering, beginning to rid themselves of papers and clothes that they no longer need. But we need to do that inner work in our spirits as well, uncluttering those things, concepts, ideas, and perhaps guilt that we no longer need in our lives. And then last week was a tall order. We were encouraged to try not to criticize. A very difficult thing, because all of us are human and we all have standards. And so often we don't even come up to our own standards. But let us continue with that idea of living life positively and lovingly and with kindness and refraining from criticizing. And so for this week, what are we looking at? The broken cup has, again, 6 subheadings. Today, joy and sorrow. Day 2, the cup of suffering. Day 3, the cup of tears. And then, day 4, the unmendable cup. Day 5, recognizing resistance. That'll be an interesting one. And then day 6, the mended cup. And so, again, we have a challenge and we are intrigued to see what this week will bring. Each day I will again post a summary of some of the thoughts from Joyce Rupp's book to help us in our daily reflection and journaling. Psalm 31 verse 12 says to us, I have become like a broken vessel. And so there is time during these 6 weeks for us to look at brokenness. Where has it touched our lives? As you ponder your life experience of brokenness this week, I encourage you to carry this message of Anne Lamott in your heart. Hope begins in the dark. The stubborn hope that if you just show up and try to do the right thing, the dawn will come. You wait and watch and work, and you don't give up. That could be a mantra for us this week, and I will post it on my Facebook page so you can refer to it anytime you wish. And now I read for us from Mark chapter 8, verses 34 to 38. Mark chapter 8, from verse 34. And Jesus called the crowd with his disciples, and he said to them, "If any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake and for the sake of the gospel will save it. For what will it profit them to gain the whole world and forfeit their life? Indeed, what can they give in return for their life? Those who are ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of them the human one will also be ashamed when he comes into glory with God and with the holy angels." Thanks be to God for that passage. And so in this, there's a recognition that there is sin and imperfection in our world. And Jesus was speaking to a generation 2,000 years ago, and he may as well have been speaking to our generation. Now, once again, I invite you to sit quietly, comfortably, with your legs straight and your feet flat on the ground and your arms relaxed with your palms folded up in a symbolic gesture of receiving. And close your eyes, or you can focus on this little candle that's flickering behind the cross. And we'll do our daily breath practice. When we breathe in today, say to yourself, joy and sorrow. That's the theme for today. Joy and sorrow. And when we breathe out, live together. And so it's a reminder that nothing is unique on its own. That joy isn't something that we feel all day, every day, for the whole year. No, it's a mixture of joy and sorrow. And so we breathe in joy and sorrow, and we breathe out, live together. Let's do that. Breathe in, joy and sorrow. Breathing out, live together. Again, joy and sorrow. Breathing out, live together. Become aware of your breathing as we breathe a few times. And now come back into this space. Our reflection for today asks us to pause and look at our story of inner seasons. Is it possible for you to accept the difficult seasons along with the joyful ones, to see each as an essential part of your spiritual growth? For us in ministry, we often see both deep joy and intense sorrow in often the same day. We can sit with someone at the end of their life and then have a phone call and wish a family all the happiness at the birth of a new baby. There can be tragedy on the one day and incredible joy on the next. But that is the story for most of us. And so join me as we pray to a God who understands these emotions. God of joy and sorrow, help me to do less judging of my life experience as good or bad, and to do more receiving of them as a part of the process of spiritual growth. Amen. And once we become comfortable with knowing that joy and sorrow are both part of our life experience, we begin to place our own experience in perspective. And so I trust that you will go with God as you look at your life as being complete when it includes all kinds of seasons of emotions. And so we are encouraged once again to journal. Write down things that pop into your mind. It's very good exercise to do that, because if we don't write them down, they often come and then they go and we can't get them back. And so what does it mean to listen? Deeply listen. What does Jesus suggest to you to do in times of difficulty? And then jot down a few things. What have you experienced in previous situations? How have you overcome difficulty or sorrow? Or if you are experiencing it right now, write down some of your emotions, your thoughts. And then, I think a very simple exercise. Ask the question, what have joy and sorrow taught me, if anything? Like Anne Lamott says, if we stay with it and we watch and we work and we pray and we don't give up, the dawn will come. And so that's her experience. What is yours? What is mine? And so as we conclude our discussion for today, as we enter into week 4, Joyce Rupp encourages us to say, I shall look for and listen to what joy and sorrow are teaching me. And every day, jot down, what did I learn today? Perhaps today will only be about joy. And tomorrow might only be about sorrow. But every day I will learn something about joy and or sorrow. And I encourage you to jot those things down. So thank you again for joining me and for being part of this process as we begin to just think about another aspect of our life. And so I take my cup in my hand, and this is not a broken cup. Its ears intact. There are no chips or cracks in it. But we've all had a cup that has been broken. I remember I had a favorite mug and the ear broke into pieces and I got my dad to glue it for me and I still used it for years and it had these little join marks. So I fully understand that often we have a favorite cup that is no longer perfect and that speaks into our experience. So join me as we pray. We thank you for symbols, O God, and as this symbol of my cup is beautiful and whole, so we know that there are many symbols that point out our brokenness, the brokenness that we live with, but also the joy that comes in and we can hold even if we have a broken or mended cup. And so we ask for your strength We ask today, O God, that you will walk with us as we endeavor to experience and let joy and sorrow teach us this week. Help us to be kind to ourselves and to others, and lead us into that deep place where we have a communion with you. In the name of Christ, we offer this prayer. Amen. Strength to you, and enjoy this week, and enjoy the beautiful weather, those in the Roblin area. God bless. Bye-bye.